Okay, welcome back to Yarn-iversity episode 4. If you've been following along in the series, I know it's a short series so far, but if you've been watching them in order, you know how to make your slip knot. Well, first you know how to read your yarn labels, such as this one. You know how to pick your hook size accordingly, and you know how to make your slip knot, which is right here on your foundation row. And you also know how to work into that foundation row to start. So what we're going to learn today are what I believe to be the most basic stitches. I'm going to go over a double crochet, which we touched on briefly in the last video, a half double crochet, a single crochet, and then a slip knot. So to get started, we're going to do a double crochet. Now I've chained up 3 on the side here to allow for the height, but we'll get into that in another video. So for a double crochet, this is what our focus is going to be on this video, are the stitches themselves. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the stitch, so we have both V's on the hook, or the V on the hook, so we have 1 and 2. Okay, we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And we'll have 3 loops on our hook. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Then we're going to yarn over, draw through just the first 2 loops, and we'll have 2 loops left on our hook. And we're going to yarn over again, draw through those last 2 loops, and you have a double crochet. So let's do it again. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook. We're inserting it into the full V, so it's going to go under 1 and 2. So 1 and 2. We're going to yarn over, draw up a loop, and we have 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over, draw through those 2 loops, and we're going to yarn over and draw through those 2 loops. Now, I talked about this a little bit in the last video. You want to watch your tension. This, is this the right hook? This is the hook size that this particular yarn calls for. I have also been crocheting for over 2 years now, so I have my tension down pat. So if you're having trouble, if your stitches are looking like they're too loose, maybe mine are a little too loose, I could probably adjust my tension a little bit here, or if they're too tight, you want to adjust your tension. If you have to change your hook size, you can change your hook size. But I don't want you to be afraid to really let yourself be looser when you're learning to crochet, unless you go the other way and you're too loose. But I started off as a tight crocheter, so I saw a lot of videos when I would watch tutorials, because I learned on YouTube. The creators were really pulling up high, and I thought to pull up high like that would just make the work too loose, or it would just mess it up, and it really doesn't. So allow yourself to have your space on your hook between these loops, because it can be difficult to only pull through a certain number of loops and then pull through again. So just like I said in the last video, just watch your tension, practice your tension. And this is just double crocheting here. I'm gonna do this to the end, and I want you to keep practicing. So we yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2. So I'm going to do that to the end. I'm going to turn my work, and we're going to do a double crochet. Just kidding, we're going to do a half double crochet. I realized what I said as soon as I stopped recording. So we're going to do a half double crochet. So I've chained up 2. That's usually about the height that you want to go for a half double. And it's very similar to a double crochet. There's just one small difference. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to go into our stitch. Our V is going to be on top of our hook, same way as double crochet. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And now, instead of drawing through 2, we have 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over and draw through all 3 loops. And that's a half double, and you see the difference in size that makes. So let's do it again. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook, make sure your V is on the hook there. I know it's a little hard to see with the gray and the silver hook, but you're going to go under your complete V here, yarn over and drop your loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, and you're going to yarn over and draw through all 3. And again, tension, tension, tension. You want to make sure you're not going too tight, so it's easy to draw through those loops because it can be hard. So try not to hold your hook too tight. Try not to hold your working yarn real tight in your hand. You'll get a feel for how to hold your yarn to allow it to just come on through. And this is a half double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, drop a loop. 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, draw through all 3. And you'll see the difference as you're working. You'll see the difference in height between the double crochet, which goes from here to here, and the half double, which goes from here to here. Okay, so let's do it one more time, and I'm going to meet you at the end where we are going to do a single crochet. Well, let me do it. Oh, I have a knot in my yarn. So I'll meet you on the other side. Keep practicing this. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through 3. And I got a nice knot here I got to take care of. So what you're going to do is you are going to insert your hook under the V. You're going to yarn over and pull up your loop. And you'll have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and draw through both loops. And there's your single crochet. Let's do it again. Insert your hook under the V, yarn over, drop a loop. 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over, draw through 2 loops. Mind your tension. Make sure you're not too tight, not too loose. Insert your hook under the V, yarn over, drop a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, draw through 2. And that is that. So you'll see the difference between the double crochet, the half double crochet, and the single crochet. Not too many differences. The double and the half double you yarn over first. The single crochet you do not yarn over first. The double crochet you're pulling through 2 loops at a time. The half double and the single crochet you're pulling through all the loops that you have on your hook once you draw up your yarn after inserting it. And that, my friends, is a single crochet. Oh. Okay, now this next one is called a slip stitch, and I do want to show this to you because if you do granny squares, if you do work in the round, if you probably some clothing, if you make little stuffed toys, you'll probably be using the slip stitch quite frequently. And some people like to use it as a border on their blankets. I think that it just makes a border look really clean and complete, or a project look really clean and complete. So I just want to show you, even though this is, I've seen it more for like joining rounds or closing rounds. Or I guess joining rounds is the better way to explain it. I just want to show you what that is. So it's very similar to a single crochet, but there is a difference. We're going to insert our hook under the complete V, yarn over and pull up our loop. Now, instead of yarning over again, completing as we would a single crochet, we have 2 loops on the hook. We're going to pull the left loop through the right loop. So, and this can be a little tricky. So this is where your tension really comes into play as well. So you're going to grab that left loop and just pull it through that right one. And that's a slip stitch. And let me do a few more. So I'm going to insert my hook into the stitch, yarn over, drop my loop, and then I'm going to pull my left loop through my right loop. And let me just do a few more so you see what it looks like on top of the single crochets. I remember trying to figure this out the first time I made a blanket. I just could not figure out how the creator did it. She just did it so fast and she didn't really explain it. And I just could not get the hang of a slip stitch the first time I tried making a blanket. It took several tries. Alright, so we're about halfway through this little swatch. My swatches look wonky because I wasn't really counting and trying to make it look pretty, but you see how they just kind of sit on top? These are your double crochets. This is your half double crochet. This is your single crochet, and this is your slip stitch on top. The top kind of folds in so you see the V's really without flipping it all the way. But I wanted to show the slip stitch to you because it will come up and it can be difficult to get used to pulling through that loop without drawing over first. So sometimes if I'm having a hard time, I will angle my hook up to get it underneath that right loop. And that's going to be it for this episode of Yarn-iversity. So we covered a lot. We covered double crochet, we covered half double crochet, don't mind my end here, we covered single crochet, and now we covered a slip stitch. And I dare say that we are ready to start practicing a project. Okay, here's our funny little stitch. It's gonna swatch. It's gonna look funny because we have all different stitches going on here, but I promise this is not how your work is gonna look. So guys, I want you to keep practicing. Oops, keep practicing your skills. Ask me any questions if you have any questions. And just remember, this is an art. Crochet is an art. It's a craft. And take your time with it. Have fun with it and make it your own. And I'll see you in the next episode.